Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of human emotions. Get ready to discover 43 intriguing facts that will deepen your understanding of what makes us feel the way we do. Defining emotion. Emotion is typically defined as a response to stimuli that involves physiological changes, such as an increased pulse rate or altered breathing, which motivate a person to act. Simply put, emotions are the feelings of the mind, equivalent to what physical sensations are to the body. Ancient beliefs. Ancient doctors believed that different organs controlled certain moods. For instance, happiness was thought to come from the heart, anger from the liver, and fear from the kidneys. Emotional advertising. Studies show that connecting a brand to a consumer on an emotional level is one of the most powerful advertising techniques. For example, Nike's pervasive theme of success in sports taps into a key emotional trigger, helping to build sponsorships, advertising, and business empires. In the 17th century, René Descartes viewed the body's emotional apparatus as largely hydraulic, believing that emotions like anger or sadness were the result of internal valves releasing fluids like bile and phlegm. A study in the Journal of Consumer Research notes that people who think more abstractly respond better to ads that portray mixed emotions compared to those who think more concretely. In Greek mythology, many of the ills that plagued mankind were creatures of emotion, such as revenge, spite, and envy, released by the goddess Pandora to torment the world. Etymology of emotion. The word emotion comes from the Latin emovere, meaning to move out, remove, agitate, derived from ex, meaning out, and movere, meaning to move. Instinct origins. The word instinct originates from the Latin instinctus, meaning instigation, impulse, which is related to the Proto-Indo-European steig, meaning to prick, stick, or pierce. Technology's impact. Some researchers fear that technology, particularly social networking, is creating emotional disconnection rather than connection. Emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is similar to brainwashing, systematically wearing away a person's self-confidence, self-worth, and self-concept. It can take many forms, including economic control, threats, degradation, and constant criticism. Components of emotion. Any emotion has three components: physiological changes, like an accelerated heart rate, behavioral responses, such as a tendency to escape or stay in contact with the source of emotion, and a subjective experience, such as feeling happy, angry, or sad. Psychological debates. Historically, psychologists have disagreed on whether emotions arise before an action, occur simultaneously with it, or result from automatic physiological processes. The English language has over 400 words assigned to emotions and sentiments. Most neuroscientists distinguish between emotion and feeling. They use emotion to describe the brain's auto-programmed response to stimuli and feeling to describe our conscious impression of that response. Charles Darwin believed emotions were beneficial for evolution, improving survival chances by helping us avoid danger, control resources, and pursue essentials like food and mates. Evolutionary triggers. Humans are evolutionarily prepared to fear certain things, like snakes, but are less reactive to modern dangers like smoking or unsafe sex, even if they recognize the risks. Brain and emotions. Research shows that negative emotions like depression and anxiety activate the right frontal cortex and deeper brain structures like the amygdala, while positive emotions are associated with more activity in the left frontal cortex. Clothing and emotions. A recent study suggests a strong correlation between clothing choices and emotional states. For example, women who are sad or depressed are more likely to wear baggy tops or jeans, while those with positive emotions tend to dress more attractively. Primary emotions. A 1980 study by Robert Plutchik proposed 8 primary innate emotions: joy, acceptance, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, and anticipation. Complex emotions, such as guilt and love, are derived from these primary emotions. Innate emotions. Most scientists believe that basic emotions are innate rather than learned. For instance, people born blind still display typical facial expressions for basic emotions. Colors and emotions. Colors can profoundly affect emotional responses. Reds and oranges are often stimulating, while blues and purples are restful. Gray, brown, black, and white tend to dull emotions. Human versus animal emotion. Only humans express astonishment with an open mouth. However, there are many similarities in how humans and animals, especially primates, express basic emotions like anger, fear, and happiness. Micro-expressions. When concealing a strong emotion, people often exhibit micro-expressions, brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal their true feelings. Gender and crying. Studies show that mothers are less tolerant of crying in boys than in girls, suggesting that emotional expression in adulthood may be influenced by early childhood experiences. Facial expressions and feelings. Studies show that adjusting your facial expression to reflect an emotion can actually lead to feeling that emotion. Gender and emotion display. Research indicates that men and women experience similar levels of emotion, but women tend to express their emotions more openly. Food presentation and emotion. The visually appealing presentation of unhealthy food in menus subtly arouses emotions in consumers. Understanding these emotions could lead to better food choices. Instinct versus emotion. Instinct and emotion are similar in that both are automatic. However, while instincts are immediate and irrational, emotions can be more rational and part of a complex feedback system involving biology, behavior, and cognition. Cultural differences in emotion. While there's no culture where people smile when disgusted or frown when happy, researchers have found differences in emotional expression. For example, the Japanese often mask unpleasant feelings more than Americans. Fear and interest. Researchers note that the emotion most associated with fear is interest. Some psychologists suggest that fear has two sides: the wish to flee and the wish to investigate. Plato versus modern neurology. Plato described emotion and reason as two horses pulling us in opposite directions. However, modern neurologists argue that reasoning depends on emotion and is not in opposition to it. Emotional contagion. Emotions are contagious, with negative or unpleasant emotions being more contagious than neutral or positive ones. Body language and emotion. Body language often reveals emotions. For example, a person standing with their arms on their hips is displaying a territorial stance. A person with folded hands and thumbs up is likely to have something positive to say. Facial expressions. Humans can make over 10,000 facial expressions to convey a wide variety of emotions. Race and emotion recognition. Studies reveal that people recognize and interpret emotional facial expressions more quickly when they are of their own race. Music and emotion. From silent films to movies like Psycho and Jaws, music is widely used to evoke emotional responses. Generally, music in a major key is perceived as happy, while music in a minor key is perceived as sad. Memory and emotion. A study on amnesia found that the emotions tied to a memory outlast the memory itself, which has important implications for understanding conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Subtle emotions. Some scientists believe that we are always experiencing some level of emotion, but it can be too slight for us to notice or to influence our behavior. The deceptive smile. Of all facial expressions, the smile may be the most deceptive. There are around 18 different types of smiles, but only one, the Duchenne smile, reflects genuine happiness. WeFeelFine.org study. Using data from WeFeelFine.org, researchers found that older people are generally happier, but for different reasons than younger people. Women tend to feel more loved, but also more guilt, while men often feel happier but lonelier. Botox and emotion. Botox injections may reduce signs of aging, but can make the face less animated and more unemotional, which paradoxically makes people less attractive to others. Exodenticist. An exodenticist is someone who hides pain or sadness behind their smile. Coulrophobia. Coulrophobia is the fear of clowns, possibly originating from the Greek word kolon, meaning stilt or stilt walkers. Thanks for watching. If you found these facts about human emotions interesting, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content like this. See you in the next video.